Sunny 93.3. Thank you so much for listening on a Monday. We have a special guest joining us right now. He'll be in Sioux Falls for the 3rd annual Snow Jam Comedy Festival. It is Kevin McDonald, and you might remember him from Kids in the Hall and many, many, many other things. Kevin, how are you, sir?
I'm very fine, thank you. Thank you for asking me. You didn't have to ask me, so thank you. I'm fine. Well, it's the 3rd annual one. I'm always number 3. I'm number 3!
You know, it's funny. At the station my wife and I have here in Sioux Falls, we did a big contest, or not a contest, but a big promotion when we became station number 3 in Sioux Falls on Facebook. I mean, most people wouldn't celebrate being number 3, but we did. It was just kind of fun.
As long as it's out of 47, 3 is great.
Yeah, usually if I'm number 3, it's because there were only 3 people in the race, but this is going to be a lot of fun. The 3rd annual Snow Jam Comedy Festival is coming up. It's fun to say this weekend. It's the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd of February. So come on out and join us in Sioux Falls for all of the fun. Now, let's talk a little bit about your career. Kevin, when did you first get started doing comedy? And then I know that you were doing television and stuff, too. Which came first?
I guess comedy. I guess I knew in high school that I was sort of funny, or at least I felt that way. You could always be wrong, but I didn't think that. I didn't think I could be wrong. But I knew that I didn't want to start off with stand-up comedy. That didn't seem to be my thing. It was like comedy acting. So I didn't know what to do, so I went to college for acting, and they helped me out by kicking me out after 3 months, saying that I was too funny. So they helped me enroll in Second City workshops, where I met, first I met Mike Myers. That's interesting, in a name-dropping kind of way. And then I met Dave Foley, and we bit by bit met everyone who became the Kids in the Hall. I forget your question. I'm just talking about a straight biography now. Oh, but yeah, it was, so then we started a stage show. We were stage comics. First we didn't know how to write, so we just improvised. And then we learned how to write, and we did a stage show in Toronto for a year in the mid-'80s. And then by the end of the year, we thought we were good enough to do like a best of show at a big theater, and it sort of got a big buzz in Canada. I'm almost finished. I haven't taken a breath yet, so I got to finish. And then Lorne Michaels discovered us, and the rest is, well, history, except no one knows it very much.
Well, I remember growing up watching Kids in the Hall, and it was produced by Lorne Michaels, same guy that did Saturday Night Live, and it was a completely different show, because there's some people would think, oh, it's the same thing, but it was completely different, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, I guess it was different. It was, it was totally different. Someone once told me that their theory was, someone that worked at Saturday Night Live, I forget who, so their theory was Lorne Michaels wanted our show, so when he went to parties, his smart New York friends would say, that's a good show, Lorne. So he'd have a successful show, and then he would have that's a good show, Lorne, that nobody watched very much. But it was different. Even though when we were all kids, of course, Saturday Night Live was a big influence on us. But so was Monty Python, and so was SCTV, the Canadian show. I mean, and so was Carol Burnett and the Marx Brothers, and I guess all those mixed influences made us different. I would say, like Monty Python, they sort of they were revolutionary in their form, how they did the sketches. I don't know if we were revolutionary, but we were different in the content inside the sketches from beginning to end. I think we did things, even though we could all write good parodies, we decided never to write any satires or parodies because we didn't articulate this, but it was sort of so we'd be different, I think. That so we did a lot of scenes about not liking our parents or having trouble with our love partners or at work and stuff like that. But we took a weird skew at it, I guess, and that's why it's sort of different.
And again, visiting right now with Kevin McDonald. He was on the program Kids in the Hall. What year did that start, and how long did that run?
I went from 89 to 95.
And I remember watching that. I believe it was on HBO. Is that right?
Yeah, the first 3 years in the States, it was HBO, and the last 2 years, it was on CBS, actually. After their late talk shows, we were on, I think we were on, I know in Los Angeles we were on 3 in the morning. But the whole time we were on in Canada at our big network CBC, but people really started watching us when they showed our repeats every day on Comedy Central. And
that was the thing I was going to say. I remember it kind of got a second life, which so many things did through channels like Comedy Central. And nowadays, can people find it on any of the Netflix, Hulu's, any of those kind of things, or Amazon? Or is it online somewhere?
No, I don't think so. It was on Netflix for a short while, and then it was on NBC's streaming. It's called CISO, but CISO went under. and now we're selling a lot of box sets, old DVDs.
See, that's even better. When you get the DVD, then you got something cool to hold on to, and you get to see all the packaging and all the fun stuff. So I think that's even better.
Yes, and also here's some exciting news. Well, sort of. We're at the very early stages of maybe planning a new TV show that hopefully we're all very busy now, that we'll be doing on maybe a streaming service, not unlike Netflix, but not Netflix, in about a year or so.
That would be really, really cool. Again, Kevin McDonald's our guest. Now, we talked a lot about Kids in the Hall, but you've done a ton of movies and voiceover work as well. So along the way, are there any projects that kind of stand out as some of your favorite projects you've had a chance to work on?
Yeah, I enjoyed two cartoons. I do a million cartoons, but two of the cartoons I enjoyed the most were Lilo and Stitch. It was sort of a good script, and the two directors were nice. One of them was a Canadian, and it was fun. It was also fun to be in a success. That's kind of weird. And for a kid in the hall, it's kind of weird to be in a success. And the other one is it was like the Kids in the Hall. It was a cult success of a Nickelodeon show I did called Invader Zim, which is a lot of fun and in a culty kind of way. And the weird cult kids, they're 40 now, but they're still kids to me. After the show, they either have me sign Kids in the Hall DVDs or Invader Zim DVDs. And I think I know that we just did a movie that Nickelodeon is going to show sometime this year.
That is really cool. Again, Kevin McDonald, and he's going to be in Sioux Falls this weekend for the third annual Sioux Falls Snow Jam Comedy Festival. In addition to the stand-up comedy that's going to be happening all weekend, you're also going to be hosting a workshop. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yes. I teach a workshop on, I'm away every weekend, when I'm not shooting TV shows and stuff, my life is, and my podcast, Kevin McDonald Show, here on iTunes. I go almost every weekend, and I teach a workshop during the days and do shows at night. And the workshop is me teaching the students the old Kids in the Hall method of how we used to write comedy sketches through improv. Now, when we were by the time we got the TV show, we had to really write them. But when we were a stage group, we were too lazy to actually write things. So we came up with ideas, and we improvised them over and over until we sort of had a sketch without anything written down. And that's what I sort of teach these improvisers these young improvisers / sketch comics.
Now, you're going to be doing a stand-up, a set here as well, kind of, I believe, closing the weekend on Saturday night. Do you get to do a lot of stand-up comedy nowadays?
I do, because I lived in Los Angeles forever, and then I met a woman in Winnipeg, Manitoba. That's why I'm in Central Time, and so to make sure that I had work, I learned how to do stand-up. And it's sort of more like a one-man. It's sort of like a one-man sketch of a guy doing stand-up, but it's I guess legally it's stand-up. And I'll be doing that. I better find out how long I'm going on. Thank you for reminding me.
No, this is, I think it's going to be a whole lot of fun. It's coming up this weekend. It is the third annual Snow Jam Comedy Festival. Kevin, thank you so much for chatting with me, but also thank you for coming to Sioux Falls in February.
Yes, thank you very much. Will there be lots of snow? There's lots of snow here in Winnipeg. I'm used to it.
We've got plenty, and it's been getting kind of chilly, so hopefully it'll be nice and warm this weekend for you. But either way, thank you very much for joining us for the third annual Snow Jam Comedy Festival.
Thank you very much.
Again, Kevin McDonald, and I'm going to throw a link in our show notes to have all the details about how you can find his podcast and all of his stuff. But we also have a link on our Facebook page to get tickets to join us this weekend. And I think there's still room for a few people in that workshop as well. So if you want to sit in the workshop and learn from Kevin, you can do that. All of the details at facebook.com/sunnyradio.